I had asked Yemi that, look, what was his take? What do we make of Tinubu needed only a simple majority to win. But as it was, with a score of 1,271 votes, people have said that that was a super majority. Some people insist on putting in supersonic majority, because the next, the closest aspirant to him was Rotimi Amechi at 316, and then the vice president at 235. Yemi, what do we make of this gap? 1271 to the next closest figure, which was Rotimi Amechi, 316, and then the vice president, 235.
The first thing that conjures in anyone's mind is that the victorious aspirant, who is now the candidate, has very wide acceptability. He's not just a regional champion. All the Southwest votes put together is less than 500. So it means that he actually got massive support from across the country, especially from the northern part of the country. There has not been an analysis of how delegates voted, but I dare say that he also got a very good looking in about 2 states from the southeast. I mean, he had a very good inroad into the south-south with Edo and Akwa Ibom. And from the entire north, perhaps with the exception of maybe Plateau, where the governor of Plateau State openly endorsed the immediate past Honorable Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi. So one can assume that Amechi harvested from Plateau State as well. But generally speaking, I think this is one of the benefits of primaries. It shows the strength of candidates, across geopolitical zones, across the states, and it gives an indication to the party, to the candidate, where he needs to work harder for the general election in those places that he didn't get vote. And that is why he said in his acceptance speech that he was going to reach out to all his co-contestants, because he's going to need them in the run-up to the general election in February next year. Indeed.
And as I was saying, the distance is the distance. Tinubu 1,271 to Amechi's 316, and then Osinbajo's 235. And then he also said in his acceptance speech, albeit jocularly, that Senate President Lawan, who scored 152, so fourth from, after Tinubu, going down in that order, Tinubu 1271, Amechi 316, Osinbajo 235, and Lawan 152. Remember, Tinubu had said jocularly that ordinarily I should be upset with you, but we shall let bygones be bygones, and so he made light of it. And why? Because you competed against me. I think that was going towards the brotherliness within the party, and why would you compete against me? We're friends. This is my objective. So there were a number of things in that Tinubu's acceptance speech.
Yeah, a whole lot of things to pick from. I think he ended by saying, well, I don't need to be angry with you. Yes. You're already licking your wounds. but like you said, yeah, those are just banters.
Banter.
That he normally will exchange, with them. I mean, when you are with politicians, there is a lot of patting on the back, a lot of, there are times they even make a parody of themselves, It's like, oh, you are too tall, you are too short. The short ones are the troublemakers, the tall ones are this and this. So when you are with them, you see, across parties, they are human beings.
There will always be this bantering and
and when I've read the congratulatory message of the Senate President, in which he even tried to explain why he contested. But sincerely, Asiwaju is a Democrat.
Indeed. Let me take Easy. Easy, who has called in from Abuja. Good morning, Easy.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead, please.
The topic is quite educative and very illustrative. I want to start by congratulating Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on behalf of the people of Bayelsa, and also to use this medium to also appreciate the northern governors who thought it wise to make that very powerful decision that will help to stabilize our political system and move our national democracy forward. But if they had not decided that power should come to the south, we have been quite unfortunate in 2023 for the northern areas to produce the president in major political parties. It's a good development. Moving forward, it is now time for the APC candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to close ranks and keep sentiments apart, bring everybody on board. I'm so happy that most of the contestants are congratulating him this morning and making their path clear, because let us not, as a matter of fact, underrate Atiku Abubakar. This is a seasoned and serious contestant who has been contesting elections since 1993. He has the structures, he has the framework. So the APC should wake up. This is not a time to begin to celebrate and get carried away and by the victory. We shouldn't be overwhelmed, because the election ahead of us is a very seasoned election. Because when you look at it, the Southeasterners are not happy with the present structure. They are not happy the way they have been shared aside in the two major political parties. It's so sad. And so they are waiting to set their own path on the table. And when you look at most of the states in the South, you look at the Southwest, which is the kitty of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu APC. You have to be very critical, because when you go up now, there are contending candidates coming up. It's a very fantastic political development, but we should look at the truth. My major worry is the monetization of our political system, where delegates have gone now to collect humongous amount of money and have voted candidates. But by and large, the two candidates that emerged in the two parties are the best, and they are the most rugged. And it's going to be a very fierce battle. Right now it's 50-50, but we need to be very careful the way we analyze and look at our political structures, because politics moving forward, we need to study the variables, we need to look at the antecedents, we need to look at all the trajectories, because certain fractions of the segment of this country are not yet happy when you look particularly with insecurity. But my greatest joy is the new Electoral Act, who has set very cogent, very viable, and very stringent conditions for political parties to follow. That is why you see now from the primary system, statutory delegates, the law was not signed, we are not allowed to vote. The parties have to execute internal discipline. They have to do internal democracy for us to move this trajectory forward. It's so sad, because when you look at it, whether you like it or not, INEC have a critical role to play, because the youth who you feel are the major demographics of our electoral system, most of them don't have voting cards. That's why you see in the social media, Osinbajo was leading. But in reality, he saw how he lost woefully with Amechi leading in, a minister leading forward. So we need to be very careful when we analyze our politics. Politics in Nigeria is a stomach politics. People have pushed their stomach forward to be able to look at the issues because of poverty. Whether I like it or not, Nigeria today is the poverty destination of the world. Whether I like it or not today...
Okay then, well thank you very much, Easy. You had quite a lot to drop there, and appreciate the fact that you kept it at a nifty pace so that most of it would come in until unfortunately the call dropped. But still, we got it. Yemi, Easy there in Abuja, he sort of assessed it as between Atiku and Tinubu, something. He has said that 50-50, that it's an even fight. And you were speaking earlier about every political party, if they have any sense at all, which I'm sure all of them do, you're going to put forward a candidate who can win the election for you, for the party, and for ultimately for the country. What would be your, assessment? He said he's looking at it at a 50-50 kind of a thing. In other words, that I think it means that they're evenly matched. And it's always been said that the only person, I don't know how right or wrong this is, the only person that APC had better filled if they want to take on the PDP and its own presidential candidate has to be Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Everybody is starting at ground zero now.
Right.
Any serious or every serious politician knows that it is counterproductive, and it can be very costly to underrate or underestimate any candidate or any electoral contest. Overconfidence has a way of making you to drop your guards, make mistakes, and then you may either lose the election at the polls or you lose it technically. I mean, we've had instances where out of the overconfidence of a candidate or a party that we are dominant, they will win 80% of the vote in an election, and then because of an error, a mistake that they just overlook, because of that aura of confidence that, look, whatever we do, we'll get away, we don't need to tidy anything, they have lost in the courts. So for me, I would say yes, the PDP candidate is a formidable opposition, but history also has shown that the person it will be going up against has had history of having to rehabilitate him politically. And so maybe just to be seen to be modest, I will accept the 50-50 thing.
Okay.
And then as time goes on,
we'll see
eventually
how it goes.
How it goes.
Okay. Mr. George in Ikeja, thank you for holding on a bit. Go ahead now, please.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to Mr. Mankwadero.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, let me first of all thank you for extending the program.
It's for today only, oh.
No, extend it further. You know, we have been asking for it, and you know also that from on, there will be intensity of talking.
Indeed.
Up to the election coming. So please consider a further extension.
We'll ask upstairs.
Coming back to yesterday's event.
Sure.
I'm particularly happy that good has overcome evil. With the lesson, or one
That's a bit dramatic, Mr. George.
Sir?
That's a bit dramatic.
well, you know, no matter how long it takes evil to thrive, a spark of truth will overwhelm it when the time comes. When the lesson I expect most of us to learn from that event is that betrayal does not last, and that it is dangerous to practice it. I won't extend that one, but I want us to go forward. Going forward in the sense of what is to be done in order to attain victory. Those who are saying that Atiku is formidable, I don't agree with them. If you see the horizon that I am seeing and many people are seeing, there is no basis for any fear at all. He belongs to a party that has narrowed it to a region in the country. Their chairman is from the north. Their presidential candidate is from the north. And the same north, the main governor in that same region are saying, no, this is wrong. It must go to this. Do you think the northerners are stupid? They have actually proven to many of us that they are Nigerians. They mean well for this country. For that reason, I have no fear in my mind that Atiku will lose again. But I want to talk about the vice presidency, if you don't mind.
No, it's part of the emergence of Bola Tinubu.
Yes. So, I don't know what the APC, I'm not a member of APC, but I don't know what they are thinking. Perhaps, guests will help. I am of the view as an ordinary Nigerian that the vice president should come from the north, northeast particularly. I don't know, somebody like Zulum, somebody like even the Shetima that is heading the campaign council, or if it is not northeast, it goes to northwest, somebody like El-Rufai, so that the team will be very formidable. And the issue of religion should be completely set aside. We have gone past a stage in this country where we need to concentrate on issues and events and not about religion. Nobody came to this world with religion, and nobody goes away from this world with religion. Look at the insecurity in the land of Oyori. What has religion got to do with solving it? People are afraid to go out. People are afraid to conduct business. The school system has broken down. And we are talking about religion. Which of these things has religion protected? We should just set religion aside and let him consult the northern governors about who should come from there as president.
Indeed.
Coming to the southeast.
Oh, you're still going, Mr. George? Please. Okay.
Did I stop? Okay.
Well, yes, thank you very much. So that we can give other callers a chance. We'd appreciate thank you for your consideration.
He's taking his own, chunk of the other hour.
Of the extended time, which I warned him about is only for today. Yeah. So he's moved to, and it's part of, I think Easy started that thread off about what to do now to ensure victory. And part of it is what Mr. George is explaining in that the vice presidential candidate is also going to be important. And he was analyzing the care with which he thought that task should be approached.
Well, certainly, between the candidates and the party and, of course, the president, I'm sure in due course, a vice presidential candidate will be selected by the party, and obviously it's going to come from the north. Whether it's going to be northeast, northwest, north central, it's left for the leaders of the party in consultation with the candidates to decide. But whatever it's going to be, I can say for free that it's going to be someone that will bring value to the ticket,
of course,
and that will enhance the chances of the party at the 2023 polls.
Mr. Yakub in Dokwemu, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. And good morning to Mr. Amechi. Are you hearing me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by saying thanks to God Almighty Allah. And then he is the one that all thanks to go to, because some of us that we are sympathizer of APC, and then we play a little role that we can play in our locality. We are about to be a rebel, a typical rebel to the party, because we thought that they want to change the goalposts, including Mr. George that already just talked now, that if the party did not conduct the primary election, and then they go by consensus issues, and then they did not pick a candidate in person of Amechi Bola Tinubu, I personally have already zeroed my mind to vote against the party. But now, I thank God that they allow the democracy to prevail, and then they allow everybody to go into that country. And then our candidate, my preferred candidate, and so many other preferred candidates come out winner of that election. I don't have that in my mind. That general election, Amechi Bola Tinubu is going to come out victory. And then talk about the first president issues. I think I'll along with Mr. George. You see, the question we need to ask ourselves is this. Since 1999, we have been going along this line. After Moshood Abiola's election that goes Muslim ticket. After that, we have been picking Muslim and Christian and Muslim as a part. What did you get? That's the question. So at this time around, if it is Muslim ticket that's going to make the bag of cement to come down to 500 naira, why not? If it is Muslim ticket that will make the rice bag of rice to come to at least 8,000, at least maybe 5,000 naira, why not? If it is Muslim ticket that will make our children go back to school in time, why not? But if somebody tell me that Atiku is going to win that election, I particularly doubt it as well. Or hey, if Kwankwaso withdraw the that wants to contest as well, because they are going to divide the vote in the north. But let me not forget one important thing here. Everybody pray for a wife. And then I think at this junction, everybody should pray for a good wife. I saw that kind of a thing yesterday. I was so happy. But I know my preferred candidate since almost 2 months ago. He has been flying all over the country, do all sorts of things, make sure that he needed to touch where he needed to be touched. And then yesterday, At the end of the day, when he needed power, he needed ability to go and carry that flag. And then there's a wife, a courageous wife like husband, a wife like husband. Know that this husband more this time around. He went ahead, held the man along, and then they moved from the start line to the point of carrying that flag. I was so happy because I knew that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs somebody at that present time. And then I was so happy. I pray for the Olu Tinubu, God Almighty will bless her for that kind of gesture that they did yesterday. I was so happy. At this junction, I pray Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu good health. Almighty Allah will make you to have a good health, sound health, in order for you to add this country along, and then we are going to get to promised land. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yakub, for calling in.